All right, sports fans, Louis Diamond live from Las Vegas with your Better Center report for Monday, June, I think it's the 3rd, 2017. And let's get started right with the top game on the board. The St. Louis Cardinals facing the Chicago Cubs. The Cardinals open up a $1.30 favorite. Total goes from 8.5 right through the 9 into 9.5. You can kind of see some reasoning why they may be playing that over, but with Martinez on the mound, you got to be worried. So the Cardinals, 4 straight road losses, 7 straight losses in the first game of a series. But when Martinez is on the mound, 13-3, following, on the road when he's playing a team with the losing record, and also 24-8. Versus a team after a quality start. So I can see some reasons why they're moving on Martinez. Wojciechowski is has given you nothing much to back anyways. And as I said, early steam is on St. Louis. Open up $1.31. And currently now at $1.35. So total 9.5 and over 14-11 for St. Louis on the road, 13-4 for their last 17 versus a team with a losing record. So a couple over numbers there, but 4-1 for the Cardinals, their last 5 overall, and 3-7 their last 10. And Martinez has been 8-2 to the under following a quality start in his last appearance, 11-4-2, his last 17 starts overall to the under, and 5-2 his last 7 to the under. So I'm seeing too much betting on the over in this game. 9.5 seems to be a little bit too high. I think you might even see 10 if you wait on this game till the end till closer to game time, and grab a nice little number. Now, the over is a good number for Cincinnati. 20 went over 6 unders and 2 pushes their last 28 versus the National League Central, 6-2 their last 8 at home, and 5-2 their last 7 at home versus a righty, and 11-6 to the over on grass. As far as head-to-head, 3-0-1. The last 4 meetings have gone over, but like I said, Martinez is he's your under pitcher, and he's very hard to play in an over game. So I see some value with the under just because it's bet too much to the over, too much steam, guys. Next play on the board is going to face the Atlanta Braves, and they are going to be home against the Philadelphia Phillies. And Atlanta is minus $1.30, been bet down to minus $1.15. The total is 9, opens up at 9.5, and now you are seeing 10. And yes, this one I think there still might be some value in the over, mainly because you got a couple over teams going here right now, and you also have an over pitcher. So the steam seems to be worthy all the way around in this game. Philly, though, I don't see the steam on Philly being all that great. 20-41 their last 61 games overall, 7-21 on the road this season, and 15-37 on the road their last 52 games. So they've constantly have been a terrible road team. They're a terrible team all around, really. They just don't seem to get the win, so I have a tough time backing a team that doesn't win very often. 1-12 their last 13 road games versus a team with a losing record, and 0-4 for Pivetta in his last 4 starts. But the Braves don't give you any reason to back them either. 5-12 their last 17 at home versus a righty. But like I said, the over has some value in this game still. 7-1 for the Phillies their last 8 games. 4-1 to the over their last 5. Their last 8 games following a win. And 4 out of the last 5 have gone over. 31-21 this season. And on the road, 18-7-1. So a lot of reasons to be backing a Philly over. And as you see me every day talking about Atlanta over, there's always good reasons to back them over. 10-4 at home versus a righty. 21-10-1 their last 32 versus a righty. 33-16-2 their last 51 home games. Last 101 games overall for the Braves. 65 32-4, and Cologne, 6 of his last 7 have gone over. So I see good, solid over play. So if you're looking for a little bit of action here today, I don't see a lot of great action today, but I see a little bit of value here, a little more value on this over because it's actually an over, and you're just kind of catching the tail end of it. I think you went too high with the first game with that one. But let's go down to the next game on the board, and that is going to face the San Francisco Giants and the Milwaukee Brewers. And the Giants open up $1.10. Move up to $1.20. You can kind of see some reasoning for some San Francisco steam, but because they're 14-3 head-to-head the last 17 versus Milwaukee, 6-1 at Milwaukee. But after that, there's really no good reason to be backing them. They're 19-49 on the road versus a team with a winning record, 5-16 on the road versus a righty, 1-4 their last 5 versus a righty, 1-5 their last 6 road games, 1-5 their last 6 overall, and Smarges 8-18 his last 26 starts. So I'm not seeing a reason to follow the steam, so to speak, with the San Francisco Giants here. The Brewers are 7-3 at home versus a righty, but 1-4 in Guerra's last 5 starts after a quality start, and Guerra's 1-4 at home his last 5 starts. So, like I said, can't see a reason to back this team. I'm not finding much of a play here on the side. As far as the total goes, you would think both of these teams in this situation would be a solid over, but it's not. I mean, San Fran 18-10 on the road to the over. Milwaukee 16-10 at home to the over. So you would think, like I said, it would be a solid over, but Smarges is a solid under pitcher, no matter where you look at him. And 4 of his last 5 road starts, 18-5-3 in his last 26 starts overall. So, very tough to back and over. Milwaukee, I was wrong with that number, 20-12 at home this year to the over. But they're on an under pace right now, or in a little bit of an under run. 5-1-1 their last 7 games versus a righty, 4-1 their last 5 home games versus a righty, 5-2 at home. Under. 7-3 their last 11 overall, 7-3-1 under. 8-2-1 for Guerra at home, under. So like I said, tough to be jumping on the over with these two teams when you get under numbers like that. I'm going to pass this game away. I'm not going to pass the next game on the board, which is going to be the Miami Marlins and the Chicago Cubs. And the Marlins are now 7-1, their last 8 overall. So a little bit, so they are warm. And you can see why the Marlins are a nice little play. Marlins, a nice reason to start looking at them. Like I said, 7-1, their last 8 overall, 6-1 versus a righty, but 3-7 on the road, and 1-7 on the road versus a righty. So got to be a little bit concerning there. And Cubs, seems to be good value here. They're $1.25 at home, and they get steamed down. So Miami gets a little steam. So Cubs now down to $1.15. Total was 7.5, and it's been bet up to 8. We'll get to that in a second. The Cubs are 17-11 at home, 41-17 their last 58 at home versus a righty, 50-22 overall at home. And during the first game of the series, they pour it on. They get the job done, 63-31. Now, as far as the over is concerned, that's my play here. I think that's going to be your best play on the board here today. It's going to be over 32. Miami over 32-20 so far this year. 4 straight overs versus the Central. 7-1 in the first game of the series. 19-6-5 on the road versus a righty. And Straley has been 5 straight overs. Cubs, now they've been 8 out of 9 versus the last 9 to the under versus a righty, so that worries me, and they're on a little bit of an under pace, 5-1 to the under, but overall at home, 16-5-1 to the over, 30-23 this season. I think they start hitting the ball a little bit here at home with a team that likes to play in the over, and the Marlins 5 straight losses head-to-head versus Chicago. So I definitely feel the over 8 is going to be probably your best play on the board today. I don't think it's the greatest schedule today, but I think that is definitely your best play on the board. Chicago and Miami over 8. Next game on the board, is going to be a tie for your best game on the board. The reason why it's not the best game on the board is because you got to lay $1.40 with this team. The Houston Astros, they open up $1.35, and they're up to $1.40. The total opens up at 9, and it's been bet up to 9.5. And Fryer's on the mound for Houston. Kennedy on the mound for Kansas City. Kennedy is 1-5 his last 6 road games and his last 6 home games and last 6 games overall. And Fryer's Astros come in with some great numbers. I mean, it's really tough not to want to back them going in when they're 38-13 overall. So they're winning. Now you get them $1.40. That's there's value, a little bit of a value with a team like that. 22-8 their last 30 road games versus a righty. 37-16 their last 53 games overall versus a righty. 39-17 on the road. So they're not just a good home team, they're just a good ball club. And 45-22 following a win. And Fryer's 7-2 on the road. He does a job on the road. And Kansas City gives you lots of reasons not to back them. 17-35 when their opponents allow 2 runs or less in their previous game. 9-19, and they are allowing more than 5 runs in their previous game. 16-37, and they score 2 runs or less in their previous game. And as I said, Kennedy 1-5 on the road, at home, and his last 5 overall. So lots of reasons to be liking Houston here today, and I see that as a good, solid play for you here today. The Houston Astros over Kansas City. As far as the total goes, I see a little bit of an edge towards the over, and obviously that's I see why this team went to 9.5. I'm not seeing the play here, but the over is 4-1-2 for the Astros their last 7, 16-8 on the road, and Fryer's 3-1-2 his last 6 starts. But the under 17-7-2 in that first game of the series, so they don't get the fireworks going in game 1 of a series, and Kansas City never gets them fireworks going at home. Right now, 19-8. Their last 27 home games under. So on grass, 29-14. Kennedy, 5 straight overs though. So got to kind of be a little leery of that. The 9.5 worries me. The over though, 4-1 the last 5 in Kansas City. So I could see why they bumped it up, but I am not jumping on the 9.5. But I am seeing some value with the Astros today. Your next game on the board, the Toronto Blue Jays up to the Oakland A's. And the Blue Jays, they are hot right now, 10-3. Their last 13 overall. Oakland opens up Toronto opens up about $1.05 favorite. Currently Oakland somewhere around $1.10 favorite. Small little steam on Oakland. And I see reasons to be kind of playing both teams, I guess, in this scenario. Toronto 10-3, their last 13 overall, but 2-9, their last 11 versus a lefty. This is the game where the lefties are coming, and Toronto's bad against the lefty. Oakland's good against the lefty. Toronto's hot right now, and 10-3, and Hap hot 10-3. His last 13 road starts, 19-7, and Hap's last 26 starts overall. But the A's are, they get the job done versus left-handed pitching. They are 6-1 at home versus a lefty. 11-5 their last 16 versus a team with a winning record. 7-23 their last 30 in the first game of the series. So they're not getting the job done in the first game of the series. And they are 2-7 overall right now. So they're cold right now. And so I got to think that. Maybe a little edge on Toronto. Maybe as far as the total, I'm not seeing really anything. Toronto doesn't do well enough against left-handed pitchers for me to back him here. So 11-3 is the over for the Blue Jays in their last 14 during the first game of the series. 10-3 is the over on grass for them. 11-5 is the over on the road for them. But here's that left-handed pitching scenario again. 7-3 to the under on the road versus a lefty, and 33-16-4 to the under versus a lefty overall. So and when they play a team with a winning home record, terrible, 47-23-4 to the under, terrible overplay. So certainly not seeing much love there for a total on this game. The total is 8 on the game. Oakland does come in with a little bit of an over as far, 6-1 their last 7 home games, 6-2 to the over versus a lefty, and but 18-8 after scoring 5 runs or more in their previous game to the under. So, and head-to-head 4-0-2 the last 6 meetings, nothing much to write home with. And once again, another back-and-forth number. Blue Jays 7-3 the last 10. But 3-7 in Oakland. So let's leave that game alone. Let's move over to the Washington game, the next game on the board, when the Washington Nationals go to the LA Dodgers. And the Nats are hot right now on the road, as they are 6 out of their last 7. And this game opens up with the Dodgers $1.30. And I see as high as $1.42, bookmaker.net. But mostly everybody else is about $1.30, $1.35 over here at the Westgate in Vegas, and 5 dimes, $1.35. So just a little bit of steam on the Dodgers. The total was 8.5. There's still some 8.5s out there right now, getting some steam on the under as we speak. As I see the Pinnacle Bet Online and 5 dimes have just dropped the line from 8.5 down to 8. So we're getting some steam on the under. And let's look at the side. Nats 6-1 their last 7 road games, 5-1 their last 6 games versus a left-handed starter, and 19-9 their last 28 following a win. But when Gonzalez gets on the mound, the Nats aren't getting the job done. 6-13 their last 19. After scoring 5 runs or more in their previous game. So they hit the ball well yesterday, put up 11 runs, and when that happens and Gonzalez comes on the mound the next day, not a good scenario for the Nats, 6-13. So Dodgers 5-0, their last 5 opening series, 4 straight at home versus a left-handed pitcher, 8 out of their last 11 overall, so they are hot as well. And but once again, you have Ryu's last 11 home starts is 2-9. I'm sorry, his last 11 starts are 2-9. His last 7 home starts, though, are 5-2. So a little bit of back and forth there. The over's 4-1 for the Nats, their last 5 overall. So, but they feel that 8.5 was a little too high on the game. Nats 4-0 versus a lefty to the under. And 9-12 to the under on the road for the Nats. But they opened the series with fireworks, 9-3 to the over. Gonzalez has been an over, 4 straight overs during the first game of a series, and 4 straight overs for Gonzalez on the road. So I'm not seeing much of a reason for the steam, but rest assured, live as it happened, you saw the move happen. Was 8.5, and as I said, Pinnacle, Bet Online, and 5 dimes have just dropped this total down to 8. Let's see what happens the rest of the day with this game. And that is going to do it for today's BettorCenter Live. Hopefully we got you some good information. I know I got you some decent plays here. Quick little rundown with your games here again today. I see a small little value with St. Louis and Cincinnati to the under, because we are now up to 9.5. And 8.5 to 9.5, I see it's way too big of a move with Martinez on the mound. I think he can keep this game low, and he's been pitching well, so let's keep it going that way. And Philadelphia and Atlanta, I see a good solid play here with the over, but 9.5 and 10 has taken some of the value out of it for me. If you can get the 9.5, great. I still see it as an over. Then Miami and the Cubs, definitely your best total of the day. See that over the 8. Hopefully that'll be a nice winner for us. And then I also see the Houston Astros minus $1.40. Nice solid winner for you today as well. Let's hit those games, make a little bit of money here today, and I will be back again tomorrow. Again, live from Las Vegas with BettorCenter Live.